Okay, so good afternoon, everyone. As Judith said, I'm Cara Wilson. I am the Research Associate on the SCRAMS project at the University of Glasgow. And today I'm going to be talking to you in a bit more detail about our SCRAMS feasibility study. So as we've learned earlier today, SCRAMS stands for the Sleep, Circadian Rhythms and Mental Health in Schools project. It's funded by an MRC, AHRC, ESRC engagement award. And these engagement awards are for up to 12 months aimed at building and strengthening cross-disciplinary community in the research area of adolescence, mental health, and the developing mind. So our aim is to develop a UK-wide research collaboration focused on investigating sleep and mental health within schools. And as Danny mentioned earlier this morning, we're working with many other researchers and partners across disciplines, institutions, and countries. The SCRAMS project itself is building on well-established links in schools in Scotland through the SHINE network, which is the Schools Health and Wellbeing Improvement Research Network. And this network includes over 240 schools across Scotland. Also, with input from pupils, parents, and teachers, we are designing and carrying out a programme of public engagement focused on sleep and mental health within schools. And topically for today, we are also conducting a feasibility study, which will help us design more comprehensive studies in future. And that's what I'd like to present to you today. So within our SCRAMS network, we're conducting a feasibility study on how patterns of sleep and activity impact on mood, cognitive function, well-being, and school engagement in young people. We're also interested in how this may change across different latitudes, across Scotland, and during different seasons. And we've got a view to applying the results from this study to design a much larger study in future, which will investigate the associations between sleep and mood problems in Scottish school children. So our study will work with partner schools from the SHINE network. We'll recruit 200 participants in total, aged 12 to 18 inclusive. Pupils will be from 10 schools across Scotland with around 20 participants per school. And in particular, we're interested in recruiting schools from the far north and south of Scotland in order to understand how latitude may be impacting on sleep and mood. We'll conduct this feasibility study for 3 weeks during winter 2020 and another 3 weeks in summer 2021. In order to gather this data, we're conducting two sub-studies as follows. So sub-study 1 will collect objective sleep and activity data and prospective mental health data from school pupils at different latitudes across the north and south of Scotland. To collect this data, we will employ two technologies. Firstly, Actigraphs, and secondly, ecological momentary assessments. So I'll go into those in a little bit of detail now. So what is an Actigraph? As many of you will probably already know, Actigraphs are miniature computerized watch-like devices, which are similar to Fitbits, and these measure limb activity. They also measure movement and sleep-wake cycles through an internal accelerometer. The device is ideal for collecting longitudinal movement and behavioural data. And so our participants will be asked to wear the Actigraphs continuously over a period of 3 weeks in winter and 3 in summer. An ecological momentary assessment is a way to collect subjective self-report data on participant thoughts and behaviours, often on a daily basis and increasingly commonly through mobile phone apps. We use an EMA app to gather self-report data from participants on their daily mood, anxiety levels, and subjective sleep. The EMA app is designed to send a prompt to participants' mobile phones twice per day, asking them to fill out a brief set of questions on how they feel that day and how they think they slept the night previously. We hope that collecting self-report data in this way will provide us with a richer picture of our participants' daily mood, anxiety levels, and subjective sleep. And we will combine what we find from the EMA app with our Actigraph data. So to give you an idea of what we'll be collecting, we are going to be using the following scales. So the EMA app will ask about sleep through questions such as, how would you rate the quality of your sleep last night? And how many hours of sleep do you think you got last night? We'll also use the mood and feelings questionnaire, which asks young people to answer questions based over the past 24 hours. So for example, over the past 24 hours, I didn't enjoy anything at all, or felt so tired, I sat around and did nothing. And this is measured on a 3-point Likert scale. And then we'll also aim to measure anxiety through the brief state trait anxiety inventory, which asks how do you feel right now? So it asks questions such as, do you feel upset? I feel frightened, I feel nervous, I'm jittery, or I feel confused. We also want to highlight that it's important to understand the relationship between sleep disruption and cognitive function and behaviour in schools. So sleep-related difficulties, as we know, can lead to issues with mental well-being and can specifically impact academic performance. So in order to look at this in a bit more detail, we're going to conduct sub-study 2, and this is going to run concurrently with sub-study 1. And here we're going to be investigating the concept of cognitive functioning and school engagement using the same 3-week Actigraph data, but also by employing pre and post online cognitive assessment and wellbeing. And we're going to be conducting those using different questionnaires. We want to do this once in class before the Actigraph data collection period and once in class after. So we'll use 2 forms of assessment to collect these questionnaire data. Firstly, the Test My Brain online platform, which is a cognitive assessment platform. And we've developed an online questionnaire as well. I'll go into those in a bit more detail in the next couple of slides. So we're particularly interested in tests of reaction time and processing speed, attention and working memory, learning and memory, and executive function and reasoning. And through the Test My Brain platform, we will run several cognitive assessments on tasks such as letter number switching, verbal paired associates, visual paired associates, and continuous concentration. Pupils will also complete assessments of school experience and wellbeing, adapted from the International Health Behaviour in School-Aged Children, the HBSC survey, which is the largest study of adolescent health and wellbeing in Europe. This questionnaire will assess school connectedness, perceived academic performance, schoolwork pressure, and teacher and classmate support. We'll also combine this with the short adolescent sleep-wake scale, the brief state trait anxiety inventory, and the pubertal development scale. Finally, we'll conduct participatory design sessions with a subset of participants. In technology design, participatory design is similar to patient and public involvement, where we strive to include and amplify the voice of those with whom we're conducting research, with a view to designing studies with and not simply for our participants. The idea here is to co-produce an understanding of people's thoughts and opinions on things like how technologies might help us co-collect sleep and mental health data in a better way moving forward. Broader opinions from pupils on sleep and mental health. For example, what do they think of the concept of delaying school start times? And other things such as the acceptability of wearing Actigraphs. Commonly, you would conduct participatory design in person through activities such as brainstorming, group discussion, crafting, paper prototyping, etc. However, due to COVID-19, we may do this in a distributed fashion through Zoom or Skype, and we hope to conduct these sessions with a subset of 10 pupils. So overall, the SCRAMS project has the potential to establish a new schools-based adolescent mental health research consortium focused on understanding the complex relationships between sleep, circadian rhythm, and mental well-being, and with a view to developing better interventions for mental health in the future. That's all from me, and I'd be very happy to answer any questions.